You gotta clear the title.
Yeah.
There you go.
Welcome to the 2023 National Bench Press Championships for Powerlifting America here in Reno, Nevada. Starting off with our first lifter, Edward, at 80 kilos in the men's Master 4 Raw. Easy opening attempt for Edward. To my left, I'm joined by Michael Zalinski.
What's up, people?
Next up, we're going to have Troy Casa, 97.5 kilos, Masters 2 Raw.
I think Troy's gonna bring this bench press home.
I mean, it's an opener, so I hope it looks easy.
You know, Casa.
Thank you, Mike.
You're welcome. I'm here for the bad dad jokes, and we now gonna have Mr. Steve Mann join us.
Steve Mann.
Speaking of bad dad jokes, say hello, Steve.
Hello.
And there we go, Steve Mann. That's going to be 2 white lights for Troy. Next up, we're going to have Dana at 115 kilos, Raw Master 3, 93 kilo weight class.
Benching 115 kilos, that's 253 pounds. Crazy. And the men's Raw Master 3 bench, 93 kilos. Here we go, Dana. Jared, you are up as our next lifter. Carlos, you are on deck as 3 out.
Dana's been at a bunch of world championships.
Should be an easy opener for him here. Easy opener for Dana. Let's see what the judges say. 3 white lights. Definitely need to put some weight on that bar. Next up, we're going to have Jared at 117.5 kilograms. Jared is a raw open 83 kilo class lifter.
Jared will be benching. Bar is loaded for you, Jared.
Bar is loaded for Jared.
17.5 kilos, that's 259 pounds.
Start command for Jared here. Let's see what the judges say. 3 white lights for Jared. Easy lift. Moving on to Carlos Lewis, Masters 3 in the 83 kilo weight class, opening with 122.5 kilos, just shy of those 2 reds on the bar.
Bar is loaded for you, Carlos. Thomas, you are on deck as our next lifter.
Carlos, 38 years old, so a couple more years till he's in the Masters.
There's the start command from Chief Referee Rodney Elm.
Easy opener.
Very easy. Let's see what the judges say. That's 3 white lights for Carlos Lewis. Moving on, we're going to have Thomas opening with 130 kilograms. Thomas is a Masters 3 Raw 93 kilo weight class. 286 pounds for those at home who are not kilo fluent. The bar is loaded for Thomas. Let's see what he's got.
Alexander, you are on deck as our next lifter.
3 white lights for Thomas from the judges.
We're doing a sub race so far. Alexander Zabrodin, you're our lifter, benching 140 kilos. That's 308 pounds.
Next up, we have Alexander.
93 kilos.
He will be opening with 140 kilos. He's a raw open 93 kilo lifter. Also, I'm being told that Alexander is from the Ukraine. Is that correct, Mike? I believe that is true. Him and his brother are both here competing today.
I think he currently lives in the state of Michigan. I caught up with him at the airport. He had some questions regarding the new
Elbow depth.
elbow depth. He was asking if I was refereeing the session. I told him not, but gave him my perspective on it.
His brother out in the crowd right now, videotaping his lift. Let's see what the judges say about this opener. 3 white lights for Alexander and his 140 kilo bench press.
Yeah, I don't see any concerns with the depth of his elbow and that one related to the new rule.
I don't believe we had a single violation of the elbow depth rule this morning, from what I remember.
Yeah, it's as of so far, it's a whole lot of nothing as far as impact to the immediate lifters in Powerlifting America's Bench Nationals.
Second annual here in the gorgeous Reno, Nevada, the biggest little city in the world. We're down here in the Mandalay Ballroom at the Circus, a part of The Row. Here goes Shane Haywood, opening with 142.5 kilos, Masters 1, 83 kilo weight class. Easy bench for Shane there. Judges say 3 white lights. Definitely need to put some weight on that bar.
We're on to Jason Ross as our next lifter, benching 142.5 kilos.
Jason Ross is going to be up next, 142.5. He's lifting in the Raw Masters 2.
83 kilo weight class.
315 pound, approximately 314.16. I rounded up to 315 just for
Perfect.
my Americanized rounding to the nearest five.
That's 345s, 345 pound plates on each side of the bar for those at home. Easy bench press. Judges, ooh.
No lift. We got yellow cards.
No lift. We got
across
yellow
the-
cards. Let's see.
And there are multiple reasons why that might happen. It could be form, it could be not listening.
Rod. According to Chief Referee Rodney Elm, it looks like he jumped the press command on that lift, but it's only his opener, so he's got 2 more tries to get one in. Next up, Colton Patrick. He is a junior 93 kilo lifter, opening also with 142.5.
There we go.
It was on.
I wasn't seeing the green light, so
So they missed all of our good dad jokes?
apparently.
Oh, man.
That's really depressing.
How much of it did they miss?
I don't know.
So I have 30 minutes of content I can go over again?
I was going to say, we get to start over?
For those of you guys listening at home, we apologize. We don't know how long the sound was off. The sound engineer over here fell asleep at the switch.
Huh. Well, that'd be a good 20 minutes. Because we hit that to check on something.
Well, for those of you just joining us, this is the 2023 National Bench Press Championships for Powerlifting America here in Reno, Nevada.
In the Mandalay Ballroom
At the gorgeous Circus, a part of the Row in downtown Reno.
Mandalay Ballroom.
Mandalay Ballroom.
Yes. Now we have Dana Rosenzweig. He is one of the national bench press team coaches.
Coached this morning and lifting this afternoon. Easy second attempt there for Dana at 125 kilos. 3 white lights. Next up is Carlos Lewis, Masters 3 83 kilo lifter. Second attempt will be 100.
I'm just admiring the speakers in this room. Man, we could light this room up with sound, couldn't we?
If we really wanted to, we could.
Holy moly. It's got quite a bit of lighting and sound.
I believe the last
Powerlifting America knows how to put on a production here at Bench Press Nationals.
I believe the last event they had here was a concert.
Yeah. My old man ears would be broken.
Little issue there with the bar being caught in the rack.
Did he get the start command?
I believe he did, but we'll see. The jury is deliberating on what to do here.
He got a start command, but it got stuck on the rack. We're trying to determine if the rack was the issue at the time or the lifter actually was in a poor position and hit the racks.
Here comes President of Powerlifting America, Robert Keller, to examine the situation. Little commentary from the crowd here, yelling for a redo for Carlos. But we will see. We will see what the decision is.
I think we have some quite a good commentary out there in the crowd. I didn't know we had so many experts.
A couple Carlos Lewis fans out there wanting him to get the redo.
I don't think he gets a redo because
it looks like he is not going to, but now Chief Referee Rodney Ohm is currently discussing with the jury.
Yeah, I think if it was not an issue with the equipment and the lifter just ran into the pins of the rack, that's the lifter's issue. As far as, I know that's not the friendliest response, but if everything is good, if everything's in position, everything's the same as it was for every other lifter, it's unlikely that the lifter's going to get another shot at it because, we're going to benefit the lifter, but the issue. Okay, 1 second.
This just in, Carlos will receive another attempt at the end of the round.
So there must have been enough question between the head referee and whether there potentially was an issue with the rack that created the issue. So again, like we said, in the fairness, the lifters, we're going to benefit the lifters when that type of situation occurs. Lean on the side of if the lifter was impeded by something going on with the equipment, we'll give them an attempt at the end of the round. Down and up he goes.
And that is a good lift for Thomas at 135 kilos. Moving on to Jason Ross, second attempt, 150 kilos, 330 pounds in the Masters 2 83 kilo weight class. Jason missed his first attempt, decided to go up 7.5 kilos anyway. Let's see what happens here. Alrighty, that was a no lift for Jason on his second attempt. Moving on to Colton at 150 kilos as well, junior 93 kilo lifter in the raw division.
Alexander, you are on deck as our next lifter.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Drive through Colton. There we go. Good fight.
Good attempt there. Let's see what the judges say. 2-1. Good lift
2-1.
for Colton. Chief referee Rodney Elm giving a red light because he said his foot came off the floor. In the bench press, the feet must remain flat on the floor from the start of the lift until the end of the lift. But still, you only need 2 white lights out of 3 to get a good lift. So Colton will move on. Next up here is Alexander, also lifting 150 kilos, 10 kilo jump from his opener here.
So where did you say he was from?
I believe he is from the Ukraine. Him and his brother are from the Ukraine originally.
Yeah. When I talked to him at the airport the other day, I think he said he lives in Michigan. Michigan? Yeah, Michigan.
Easy second attempt there.
Me and him have the same
3 white lights.
hairstyle. We got the same hairstyle, so
None at all. Good choice
it's
of
a
hairstyle.
style. It's a style.
It's a style. That's a style.
It's-
Whatever you're gonna tell yourself.
Yeah, it's you know, you think it was the easiest, but you got to keep it clean. You know, you got to keep it clean. So. But I
Here
don't,
comes Shane Haywood, 152.5 kilos for his second attempt. Now, I could be totally wrong, but I do believe Shane is from Nebraska, as I do believe I have judged him previously in meets there. I know his wife also lifted this morning. This is a 10 kilo jump for Shane from his opening attempt.
pretty solid jump in the raw.
See what he's got here. And it looks like that's going to be a no lift for Shane, but he's got one more attempt to come back and try it again.
And what I've been seeing on attempt selection in the raw is usually between a 5 and a 7.5 kilo jump, basically 10 to 15 pounds. Jumping 10 kilos is a little more aggressive at over 22 pounds. All right, so Joe McAuliffe is going to be up next. He's from New Jersey. Joe missed his last one, and I'm not sure if the volume was on at that point, so I'm going to be repetitive here a little bit. Joe McAuliffe is a strength coach out of New Jersey. He trains Division I athletes and high school athletes and all-age athletes, basically. He missed his attempt last time because his head came up and his elbows were a little bit unlocked. I'm not sure if it was at the start or finish or both. But Joe's come back at this. He's got he's over 30 years history in the sport.
All I know is he is rocking a sweet Titan USA singlet right
That's
there.
pretty nice. And then looks like gold shoes on there, black and gold.
I like those.
Easy. Let's see if
Let's
he's
see what
cleaned
the
up the
judges say.
problems.
3 white lights. Perfect.
Cleaned it up like a champion. He cleaned up what he needed to clean up and got it on the board.
Next up is going to be Edward Ruland. Another 10 kilo jump here, Steve, at 170 kilos for his second attempt, with his first being 160, which he got. Edward is a Masters 2 in the 93 kilo weight class, raw, as everyone is today in this session, with all the equipped lifters lifting tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I don't recall how easy or hard his first one was. Like I said earlier, 10's an aggressive jump in the unequipped. Sometimes it's the perfect call, so we'll see how it goes for him on this one. That looked fast off the chest.
Relatively easy
A little
there
more-
for the most part, and the judges agree with 3 white lights.
A little more tricep on the end there, but he does have quite a bit of a narrow grip, which I'm seeing a lot more in the
In the raw.
unequipped. Going narrow gives him a lot of explosivity off the chest, and is kind of what I'm seeing more so than the line.
As long as your triceps can back it up.
Right.
Next up here, we've got John Tyler lifting a whopping 187.5 kilos for his second attempt. This is just shy of 415 pounds at 413.37 pounds. John Tyler is a junior, which means he is between the age of 19 and 23.
So 93 keys works out to about 205 body weight. You have what he weighed in at?
He weighed in just shy of 93 at 92.7.
Okay.
So he pushing that weight class.
Yeah, he'd be like 199 body weight then. Roundabout. Clock is running. I'm wondering if he's laying the timeout on this one. I don't know. Some lifters would do that from a strategy perspective. Maybe pass on their second and go for an aggressive third. Or
Jonathan Losa right after him, so maybe giving Losa a little extra time before his next bench press. And Steve, you're pretty close. 92.7 kilos is 204.36 pounds.
all right.
Five seconds left here for John to come out and make his lift, but it looks like he is going to scratch on his second attempt. Helping out the other lifters by giving them a little break there.
Moving to Jonathan Rosa as our next lifter.
Next up is going to be Jonathan Losa at 195 kilos, 430 pounds in the Masters 1 83 kilo class.
Yeah, and Master 1 for folks at home is between the age 40 and 49. The year you turn 50, you can qualify for the Masters 2 position for Worlds. You can compete in the 1 during the year and then go to the World Championships as a 2 if you're going to be aging to a 50-year-old that calendar year.
And the same thing works up to 3 and 4, with Masters 3 being 60 to 69, Masters 4 being 70 to 79.
Yeah, and I don't know if the
70
volume was
and
off.
above.
Yeah, Jonathan Losa was a spotter at the World Games in Birmingham, Alabama over the summer. He basically spent a week in Birmingham, Alabama, spotting and loading the best lifters at World Games, which was quite an event.
And did a mighty fine job at that, I might add.
He did skim the rack on that, but he
Moved
drove
pretty
straight
easy.
through it. Yeah, he was a little tight on the rack, I guess, on his setup, because you could hear the bar like skimmed off the one pin on the, I think it was on the opposite side, on the right side, on his right.
But still got the lift there with 3 white lights. Moving on to Mikhailo, the other brother from the Ukraine, at 200 kilos for his second attempt, 440 pounds.
Is he timing out too?
Looks like he's just gearing up over there
Okay.
for his lift. Still has about 35 seconds
Yeah, okay.
to get to receive
He's
the
got time.
start command from Chief Referee Rodney Elm.
Some of the more experienced, deeper lifters, and the equipped guys learn it, but it happens more naturally to use all of that time. If you got 60 seconds, use 45 of it, just so you don't rush the meet along, just moving too quick and not taking your time. But he's actually getting down to the 10-second timer, so I wouldn't want to call it that close.
There's the start command with 5 seconds left.
He was tight.
See
Let's
what
see
the
what
judges say.
Good
3
lift.
white lights for Mikhailo. And that they're now going to take the bar up 5 more kilos to 205 kilograms, which is over 450 pounds for Ryan Baylark in the Raw Open 93 kilo weight class here at Powerlifting America's 2023 National Bench Press Championships.
So for the folks out there, if this is your first watching a competition, each lifter in the Bench Press Nationals is going to get 3 attempts. There's 3 judges on the platform, and you need 2 out of 3 of the judges to say it's a good lift. If you're looking at the Ryan's block there, you'll see it's red. That means he missed an attempt. If it's green, he made the lift. So this is a second attempt at 200 keys, 440. He's got the power. I'm not sure if it was a technicality on the last one, but he got 3 white lights
I
on that.
believe it was a technicality.
Okay.
So
you can
matter?
no. So you can miss the lift from a technicality perspective. So let's say you come out and you beat one of the commands. So commands are start, press, and rack. So at the beginning of the lift, you get a start command. Then when it gets to your chest motionless, you get a press command. When you lock it out, you get a rack command. If you beat one of those commands, that's one way to get a no lift from the referees.
And then, as mentioned earlier, your feet must be flat on the floor throughout the entirety of the lift, along with your butt and head being, with the majority of your butt being flat on the bench. And your head must stay down the entire time. Here's Jordan Harris, also lifting 205 kilos in the Raw Open 93 kilo class.
Judges say on that, good lift, good lift.
3 white lights for Jordan.
So going back for any folks that are kind of new to this, the next lifter up is going to be Carlos Lewis. It's his reattempt. So Carlos hit something happened where Carlos got caught on the rack on his.
I believe from what I was told, the plate on his right side got caught on one of the pins on the rack, and he was unable to, begin the lift with it stuck there.
So it could have been the bar was on crooked, and it wasn't leveled off there. So for the benefit of the lifter, they allowed him to come back out because he never really even took the bar to his chest. He took it out, and he was taking the bar out of the rack and never even got into a position to even go down, basically.
Yeah, once he received the start command, he tried to go down and was unable to. But here's the relift for his second attempt at 132.5 kilos. Pretty easy bench there for Carlos. Let's see what the judges say. 3 white lights.
Now, the negative with doing a reattempt, and I've had a few reattempts, is now he's going to go turn his next attempt in, and he's going to be sorted back into the round.
Most likely falling within the top 5 or 6 lifters here of the flight.
Yeah, so he's instead of getting like a 12-minute break, he's going to only have about a 5 or 6 minute break. So it's a little bit of, is it worth it? But that was such an easy attempt. I don't think it's going to be negative consequence to 6 minutes is a quick turnaround, but that wasn't a draining lift.
Carlos is a professional too. I'm sure he's had shorter rest times in his days.
Yeah,
and it looks like he will fall into the 5th lifter of this 3rd round for Flight A.
Yeah, so in a competition, you get the bar is loaded is the call when the weight is ready, and then the 1 minute timer starts. So right now we're at like 38 seconds for Edward. Well, Edward's going to take as much as the time as he needs to take, and then they have the changeover. So basically, when you look at the math of a competition, one lifter from a math perspective equates to 1 minute at least.
Usually.
Yeah. So. If we're 5 lifters out, that's 5 minutes.
Here's Edward's 3rd attempt at 95 kilos.
That was easy up and down, and I heard him hit the rack.
That's going to be 3 white lights for Edward right there. Perfect day for him in the bench press. Next up, Troy Casa. Going to bring this weight home.
One of the things that seems to be occurring right now, and I'm not sure if it's the lifters are rushing it or their experience on the Alico rack, we're hearing them hit the rack on the way up on several of these attempts, and that a lot of times is associated just being too close to the rack. It's being too set up too close to the rack, and with this liftoff fellow we got here, he's a pretty darn good liftoff guy. You can give yourself some distance and let him get the bar out to you. And that's what I would be telling him as a coach is get away from the rack and let the liftoff guy get the weight to you.
Here goes Troy hyping himself up for his third attempt at 110 kilos, 242 pounds. If Troy completes this lift, he will stay in second place for the Masters 2 93 kilo weight
Did not
class.
have it in there today.
I do not believe so.
No left.
Although now here comes Rodney Elm, chief referee, giving a little advice to our spotters about the trickiness of powerlifting callers on the bar. Next up here is going to be Jared with 125 kilos. That's 2 reds on each side of the bar, 275 pounds.
Yeah, and these are third attempts. This is the last lift of the competition for each one of these lifters. So they're really pushing the edges. You know, a lot of times in the third round, most of the time you're going to probably see 50-50 at best make their attempt because they're going for max effort lifts here.
Usually either going for PRs or maybe trying to, jump up a place here. There's the start command for Jared.
Not in the cards today for Jarrett. Good
Still
try.
got 2 great lifts, ending with a successful 120 kilo lift in his second attempt. Next up, Dana here with 127.5 kilos, just over 281 pounds. Dana is competing in the Masters 3 93 kilo raw weight class, and also coached a few lifters this morning in the morning session. Letting the spotter know exactly how he likes his handoffs. Very important on bench.
Yeah, a lot of times lifters are like, just like last time, and I tell people don't do that because there's 15 lifters on a flight, and he's not going to remember 15 minutes later.
Looked like a pretty good lift, and the
good
judges
lift.
agree. So Dana will finish off the day with 127.5 kilo bench press. Next up, here's Carlos Lewis, who we just saw a few minutes ago with his relift at the end of the second round, and now he's back with 5 more kilos at 137.5 kilos, 303.14 pounds on the bar for Carlos.
Yeah, based on his last attempt, I would say he's pretty good for this. I would tell him to take his time, get out there with about 25 seconds to go. Give himself a max time of 6 minutes or so since his last attempt. And he seems to be doing that. Again, you need the start, the press, and then the rack command. And you need 2 out of 3 judges to say good lift.
There's the handoff for Carlos.
He locks it out.
Looked pretty easy, and the judges
3
agree.
white lights. He did go 3 for 3 then.
He did, and he will finish off the day with a successful 137.5 kilo bench and a gold medal in the 83 kilo weight class. Next up here, Thomas, Masters 3 93 kilo weight class, trying to finish off the day here at 140 kilos. Was successful on his first 2. See if he can get his third here. Looked relatively easy there. And the judges once again agree. 3 white lights across the board. That's a 3 for 3 day for Thomas. Here's Jason Ross. He is taking 150 kilos for a ride on his third attempt. He's going to need this to stay in the competition.
Yeah, he needs this lift. Unsuccessful with 142.5 and unsuccessful with 150.
And now repeating 150 again for his third.
So 330 pounds. Goes down and up.
Judges say
Good
three
lift,
white
three white
lights.
lights. He gets it on his third.
That should put him in second place for the day in his class. Next up, here's Shane Haywood going again for 152.5 kilos. Missed it on his second attempt, but does have his first attempt at 142.5.
As a reminder, the lifters here are trying to qualify for IPF Bench Press Worlds, which is going to be in South Africa. Is it in May or June?
May, I believe?
May.
Maybe June. I'm unsure.
So IPF Worlds is the largest. It's the largest drug-tested world championships, and against the top lifters in the world, all falling under the World Anti-Doping Drug Testing, which is the same drug testing as an Olympic athlete.
Unsuccessful third attempt there for Shane, but he still got his first attempt earlier at 142.5 kilos.
So all our athletes were following under the USADA guidelines, World Anti-Doping Guidelines. That means all our athletes in Powerlifting Americas and under the IPF are tested the same as the Olympic athletes. So where there's comparisons between Powerlifting Americas and other organizations, we are professional labs doing 100% of our drug testing, and 100% of our drug testing follows to the same standards as an Olympic level athlete. And it's not certain, one test is different than the other. Everybody's under the same umbrella and the same standard of drug testing as an Olympic athlete.
Here goes Colton Patrick, junior lifter, trying to go 3 for 3 on the day, but it looks like he will not be able to get that today, but come back next time and get that 155 bench press.
Again, we are in third attempts. Third attempts are the max effort. This is where it comes down to the fraction of a pound making the difference between a miss and a make.
Bar is loaded for Alexander Zagovic.
So the lifters are going to go to, the top level lifters are going to go to Bench Press Worlds, IPF Bench Press Worlds in South Africa later this spring. And that's what lifters are going for here, to be the top U.S. lifter going to Worlds to represent the United States in the IPF Bench Press World Championships.
Which, after further research, will take place at the end of May in Sun City, South Africa.
I heard it's beautiful there, too.
They just held Classic Worlds there this past year, I believe.
I heard it's a bit of a trip, which most world championships are. But once you get there, it's a very nice facility. It's a nice event. And, of course, it's the top-level bench press competition you can go to in the world.
No competition higher than that.
Bar is loaded for Joseph.
Bar is now loaded for Joseph here, who's going for 172.5 kilos to finish out the day.
Joe McAuliffe from the state of New Jersey. He had a little technical issue on his opener, so he's going to probably take a little more aggressive of an attempt. He's jumping just 7.5 keys to 172. Joe's in the Masters 2, which is 50 to 59 years old. Definitely a veteran in the sport. Just not in the cards today.
Have to come back next time and get that 172.
Very nice attempt. Three reps, but still a lot of weight. Great effort.
Joe going around real quick and thanking our wonderful referee volunteers for their work today.
And the men's raw master 2 bench at 96 kilos.
What do we have? 5 more lifters? Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Jonathan
Yes, I believe so.
Edward. Bar is loaded
Edward
for
Grulin.
Edward Grulin.
5 more in this flight, and then we have
Another round.
a second flight. Yes,
Yeah.
there were supposed to be 3 flights today, but due to a handful of no-shows, they decided to combine the flights and to make 2 larger flights. So here's Edward going for 175 kilos on his third attempt, and a perfect day if he hits this. Just
Good
not in the
try.
cards
Good
today,
try.
but very good try from Edward. And for those of you joining us at home that were watching lifters in the morning session this morning, after the conclusion of this second session, the awards for both this morning and this afternoon will take place right here.
Our next lifter is Jonathan Lossa. This is a national record attempt.
We got a national record attempt here for Jonathan Losa at 203.5 kilos. Steve, you want to explain to the people at home how the national record process works and why Jonathan is able to lift 203 kilos, not 202?
So you're able to chip what they call chip it. So you're able to take a smaller increment. I think it's 500 grams is the smallest. Is that right?
I believe half a kilo is the smallest increment.
That's
Yep.
same.
Yeah, same thing.
Math. So
I'm not a math major,
well,
Steve.
I always I've been lucky enough to go for and get a few world records, and I always chip it. And then people give me, why couldn't you go to the full increment? Because I didn't need to. Is my answer. So he's going for a record. He might already own the record. I don't know.
Most likely, if he's going for 203.5 kilos,
Yeah.
the current standing record is probably 203.
Yes. So he's going for probably what is his own record to improve on his previous best. And again, he was a volunteer at World Games, so he gives back to the sport as well.
There's the press, and he drives it up.
Oh, he's
Oh, very, very close there for
I
Jonathan.
think it just slightly got out of the groove.
Little
just got a
misgroove
little loose because it was going up, and then it just went the wrong direction on him. Like it almost went. You saw it right before it went down. It kind of the bar kind of wandered a little bit.
Yeah, went out of its path a little bit, but
Yeah.
still a successful day for Jonathan. 2 out of 3 lifts completed, finishing with 195 as his highest lift today. Next up here, we're going to have Michaelo.
Okay, so we got a chip fest.
Looks like we got another chip fest going on with 204 kilos.
Who got the Doritos? Because we got some chips in the room. I don't know. Was he in the same weight class as the last?
Yes, I believe they're both in the same weight class.
So he could have theoretically just lowered it once the miss occurred, unless his lot number was higher. So when you have guys going for the same record,
Jonathan. Sorry to cut you off there, but Jonathan had a 40 lot number, and his is 43.
Okay, so because of that, he had to take a higher attempt to know he got it. So he was banking on Jonathan making his, and then coming up and beating it after he made it. If he gambled the other way, he would have went first.
So I'm not sure if this is the same record because Jonathan was lifting in the Masters 1.
Okay. So these are, but all right, we don't have the exact record.
And Michaelo is in the Open.
Yeah,
but
that's the same.
still
around
looks
the
like
same
it's a
number.
national record attempt here.
Yeah. Could be the same number, even though he's a master.
See what the judges have to say about the lift here. Looks
No
like it's going to be a no lift.
No lift.
2-1.
I think there might have been a downward movement of the bar. I'm not sure if there was anything else wrong with it. The bar was moving, but I almost felt like the bar went down a little bit. Now, part of the rule is you can have uneven lockout. The bar can come up and you could lock the right and then lock the left. But if the whole bar goes back down at any point, it's no lift. So that's kind of how the judges got to call it. So I'm not sure. We're not close. The judges have a better view than we do on what exactly created that miss, but that's a potential. When I saw the bar was kind of wandering there.
Still a very successful day for him, finishing with the 200 kilo bench from his second attempt. And now we have Jordan Harris joining us on the platform with a 207.5 kilo attempt coming up here. Jordan lifting in the Raw Open 93 kilo weight class. Just a mere 2.5 kilo jump from his last, the smallest jump you can have.
That was quite a
See
third.
what the judges say.
Good lift.
Good lift. Pretty good number calling there.
Yeah, it was very solid.
Jordan.
Yeah.
And now we're moving on to the final lifter of Flight A with Ryan Baylark at 210 kilos in the raw open 93 kilo weight class. This is just shy of 463 pounds on the bar.
The right's locked, but the left is trailing.
Good effort there from Ryan. Finishes off the day with a 205 kilo bench from his second attempt.
You know what they say and I don't know if it, the one that's trailing probably isn't the weak side. It's usually the strong side is the tailing side. The strong side is what's got to lift more weight. So if you're getting in the habit and you're locking out your left side before your right, you probably got a right side issue, and vice versa. If you're locking out your right side versus your left side, the one that comes in second is likely the one that's stronger and able to do more weight, because the trailing arm is usually the strength in the lift. The body just accommodates different things that are going on. I noticed that in the squat, when you've got a hip issue, the sign that the good side of the hip starts to accommodate for the bad side, and it does some weird turns and all sorts of fun stuff. Especially when you get in the masters, your body just all starts doing weird junk. So, got to treat those and try to fix those imbalances as much as you can.
To start off our second and final flight here, we have Richard, who is opening with 97.5 kilos, basically opening with his body weight as he weighed in at 97.6 kilos today. Pretty successful lift there. Let's see what the judges say. Ooh, no lift. I do believe his head came off the bench.
And being he has
head and elbows is what Rodney Elm, chief referee, is signaling to me.
Did he have 3 reds or 2?
2 to 1.
Okay. I missed that.
But still got 2 more tries to come out and get it again. Following him is going to be Todd Peterson now, opening with the same weight, 97.5 kilos, 215 pounds for those at home.
That's a Titan singlet there.
Once again, Todd here, opening with his body weight as he weighed in at 97.45 this morning, according to Lifting Cast. Easy bench there for Todd. Let's see what the judges have to say, and they agree. 3 white lights.
Frank is coming up with 242, lifting the Raw Masters 3, 105. Weighed in at 105, opening with 110. Bar is loaded for Frank.
Easy bench there. Ooh.
Something looked weird when he kind of shot off to the side there, so I'm not sure. One funkiness happened.
See if I can get the attention of one of the judges here to find out what it was. Pretty fast.
Came off fast and crooked a little bit, but I didn't think it was uneven, so that's where it was. It was
Still has 2 more attempts to come out and get a successful one.
Yeah, think about it. in powerlifting, you can't lower your attempt. So let's say you open up with 220 kilos or whatever the weight is. If you come out and you miss it and it's a miss because of strength, you cannot lower your attempt for the next one. You got to stick with that same weight. We have 20 seconds for this lifter to get the start command. I'm not sure if they're fully aware because they're not really moving. Shari's not really moving at the speed I would expect with only 10 seconds on the clock. And he beat the press start command, I believe. I think he missed the start command and get all the red lights there. So he needs to get out there sooner. He needs to, there's 3 commands as we discussed earlier. He's got to take it, he gets the bar out of the rack, he can get a lift off. And then the head referee, when he thinks he's in a ready position, says start. And then when it gets to his chest, motionless, then the head referee says press. And then when he locks it out, his elbow's locked, or has got it as far up as he's going to go, he then gets the rack command.
Bar is loaded for Kenneth Bennett.
Kenneth Bennett is up, 125's on the bar, 275. These are opening attempts, flight.
There's the start command. Very easy. Let's see what the judges have to
I
say.
think we're getting white lights on that.
We're definitely getting white lights. That's a great lift for Kenneth. Next up here, James Kellerman going to raise the weight on the bar quite a bit from 125 to now 157.5 kilos. 347 pounds, just shy of that 350-pound mark.
So
James is a sub-junior
that's
in the 105.
Under 19 years of age. So 14 to 19 is a sub-junior.
Most likely means he's in high school or early stages of college.
Yep. You'll notice in the picture, if you're watching powerlifting for the first time here, there's safety racks down below. That's in case the bar fails quick and the racks below can catch it before it hits the lifter. They're called safeties. And that looked like an opening attempt. And
let's
judges,
see.
Good lift.
Definitely need to put some weight on that bar there, James. Next up, we're going to have another James Ray, opening with 160 kilos, 352.74 pounds. James is competing in the Masters 3 Raw division at 120 kilo weight class.
Many world championships under his belt. You could tell by just looking at his singlet.
Team USA singlet.
Yep, Team USA singlet.
Old school Team USA singlet from SBD there.
Yep.
James making sure he's all nice and set up before he takes the handoff from one of our wonderful spotters.
I think we got a good lift. There's a little bit of a
little technical error.
Technical with the lights.
3 white lights.
Good lift. Nice and focused lift.
For those of you just joining us, this is the 2023 Powerlifting America National Bench Press Championships taking place here in Reno, Nevada at the Mandalay Ballroom in the Circus Casino and Hotel.
Hotel and casino.
Hotel and casino. Here's Chris Walter opening with 165 kilos. Chris is competing in the Masters 2 division, 105 kilo weight class.
And that was an easy opener for him.
Definitely need to put some weight on that bar. Next up here, KJ Cameron.
benching 170 kilos.
He will be opening with 170 kilos, 375 pounds. KJ in the Masters 1 division, 120 kilo weight class. Looks like his rack height was a little messed up in the system, so spotters are consulting with the jury to get the proper rack height for KJ before he comes out for this lift.
You'll see the platform equipment is sponsored by Alico. Alico is making some of the top powerlifting competition equipment in the world. And the sponsor, Powerlifting America's Nationals. From the racks to the discs to the safeties, it's all Alico on the platform today at the bench press, Powerlifting America Bench Press Nationals.
Yeah, thank you to Alico and SBD for sponsoring today's championship. Relatively easy there for KJ, and the judges agree. 3 white lights. Next up, just changing the rack height here for Steve Davenport, who is also going to be taking 170 for a ride for his first attempt. Steve is from Nebraska, runs quite a few Powerlifting America meets in Nebraska. I've had the honor of working with him at meets quite a few times. Old school lifter, been around for a long time.
What is he, Masters 2?
Steve is in the Masters too, 120 plus. Super heavyweight division for Steve. And there's the start command.
He's a light 120 plus, though.
Yeah, very, yeah. He weighed in 131.
Yeah.
That's light for the super heavyweight.
Yeah. He's a healthy super heavyweight.
Yeah, there you go.
As you get into the Masters,
Are you trying to say I'm not healthy, Steve? Is that
I am not judging you at all. But I'm just saying, when you walk in at 50 years old and they do your blood work and you weigh over 3 bills, doctor's not so happy with you at that point. It goes from less than your powerlifting performance when you're 50s compared to your body weight, cholesterol, and blood pressure.
Well, that was a good lift for Steve. And now we're moving on to Justin Rogers here, who's opening with 215 kilos, 474 pounds. Looks like there's a little technical issue here as there's no hats allowed on the platform. Justin will now have 35 seconds to get set up for his first attempt here. There's the liftoff. Start command, which is 10 seconds left on the clock. Easy bench press for Justin. Let's see what the judges have to say. 2-1. Good lift for Justin.
Not sure what the DQ on the one side.
Oh, I believe side referee said that she meant to hit the white.
Okay.
And the way the buttons are oriented, the white and the yellow are right next to each other.
Yep.
Here's the final lifter for our first attempts in the C flight. We've got Caden Hush opening up with 220 kilos. That's 485 pounds. Caden is in the Raw Open 120 division. Looks like there's a little rack height issue here for Caden, but looks like the clock will continue to run because the registered rack height he gave was set there. Very, very easy bench there.
Luckily, with the last minute change,
Yeah,
that could have been.
Down to the final seconds of the clock.
Would not want to be his coach on that situation.
We are moving back to Richard Scholes for his second attempt, benching 97.5 kilos at 214 pounds in the men's raw masters 2 bench, 105 kilos. Todd Peterson, you were on deck behind Richard. Sharir, you were in the hole, third out behind Todd.
Bar is loaded for Richard. His attempt 214. It's a reattempt. He missed on his opener. Down and up, I think he would look clean. Ooh, 2-1.
2 reps, so each complete lift.
Looks like elbow, not locked out on the elbows there
Yeah.
for Richard.
Head referee saying his left elbow could have been both, but he's pointing on his left.
Followed by Sharir and Frank.
Next up here, we're going to have Todd Peterson. Bar is loaded for Todd, who will be attempting 105 kilos, 231.5 pounds in the Masters 3 division. Easy looking bench there for Todd. Let's see what the judges say.
Good
3 white lights. Good lift.
Very nice.
Makes Todd 2 for 2 on the day so far.
You were up as our next lifter, benching 115.
Next up here is Sharir.
Yeah, Sharir had issues in the first one. He was a little late getting up to the bar.
And then I believe he jumped the start command.
Yeah, so hopefully we can get up here a little sooner, take his time a little more, and get the commands, the start, the press, and the rack command.
Well, here he comes with a whole 50 seconds on the clock this time.
That's good.
Much more time to set up and get going. There's the start and the press.
Oh boy,
Ooh,
and he beat the rack
that's-
command.
Looks like he jumped. Yep, looks like he jumped the rack command along with a little up and down movement during the press. He'll still have one more shot to come back and get that weight successfully on his third. Next up here, Frank Veselicki, who will be attempting 115 kilos. Opener was 110. He missed that, but decided to take a 5-kilo jump anyway for his second. 253.53 pounds on the bar for Frank. Pretty quick bench there for Frank, and the judges say it's a good lift.
Completed lift by Frank. Kenneth Bennett, you are up as our next lifter, benching 127.5 kilos. That's 281 pounds. James Kellerman, you are on deck behind Kenneth. James Ray.
Next up here, we got Kenneth Bennett.
Bar is loaded for Kenneth.
2.5 kilo jump from his opener here at now taking 127.5, 281 pounds. Kenneth is a Masters 3, putting him between the age of 60 and 69 in the 105 weight class. And that's a good lift for Kenneth on his second attempt.
3 white lights.
Next up here, James Kellerman. 167.5 kilos on the bar for him. 370 pounds for the sub-junior lifter, meaning he is between the age of 14 and 19.
Bar is loaded for James Kellerman. James Ray, you are next. You are our next lifter.
It's a lot of weight right here for a sub-junior to be moving. Little hiccup there in the middle. Let's see what the judges have to say.
3 white
Three
lights.
white lights. Good lift for him.
James Ray, you are up as our next lifter, benching 172.5 kilos. That's 380 pounds. And the men's round master 3 bench at 120 kilos.
Next up here, James Ray
James Ray.
with a 12 and a half kilo jump from his opener, taking on 172.5. That's 380 pounds or freedom units. James is a Masters 3 lifter in the 120 weight class. James, very experienced lifter in the sport of powerlifting. Not there for James, but he's got one more shot at it on his third.
You completed was still a great attempt. Thank you to everyone on our platform for all
Moving on, the spotters are going to throw 3 red discs on that bar. 175 kilos for Chris Walter. That's 385 pounds.
KJ Cameron, you are on deck behind Chris. Steve Davenport, you
We are on second attempts of the heavyweight
bar is loaded.
raw bench press for the male lifters. So this has weight classes going up to super heavyweight.
And then following this will be the award session for both this morning's lifting session and the current session happening right now. Here's Chris taking 3 reds for a ride.
Down and up.
And the judges say,
Good lift. 3 white lights.
85 pounds, beautiful.
great lift for Chris there. And now they're going to, spotters are just going to raise the rack up a little bit, keep the same weight on the bar for KJ Cameron, also taking 175 kilos for a ride.
120 kilos.
KJ in the Masters 120 kilo weight class.
Bar is loaded for KJ Cameron. KJ Davenport, you are on deck behind him. Justin, you are 3 out.
Drive, 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 drive.
Locks it out there. Let's see what the judges have to say. 3 white lights for KJ.
3 white.
I'm not sure how much more he's got after that. I would go 2.5 and give it a ride, but
Keep our eyes here on Lifting Cast to see what his next attempt is going to be once it's turned in. Looks like you're right, Steve. His third attempt will be 177.5 kilos.
maybe get a little tired. Maybe he can figure out something he could do a little bit better.
Next up here we got Pastor Steve Davenport. He's going to be taking on 185 kilos, 15 kilo jump from his successful opener of 170. And there's the start command for Steve.
That was a nice one.
Very easy.
Easy.
Ooh.
What do we got?
I believe, let's see what, little hitch, little
Up and down.
heave there from the bottom.
Heave. Okay. So that's when the bar hits the chest, and then they give the press command, and then it goes downward before it goes back up.
Kind of throwing your body into the bar before to help get it up there. Once you get that press command, the bar can't go down at all, even if it's on your chest.
Yeah. I mean, I know some old school guys where they would kind of teach you to do it, but part of it is being able to visually see it. So if it goes down enough that the referees can see it, it went down way too much. It should, you want to be able to keep that abdomen tight and the upper chest super tight, so when you pop off of it, you have a good pop off your chest.
Next up here, we got 4 reds on each side of the bar for Justin Rogers, who's taking on 225 kilos. That's 496 pounds.
He's doing a 10-kilo jump, but last one was smoke
Very
show.
easy.
It was so easy. I don't always agree with a 10-kilo jump going raw in the raw bench press, but with his first attempt, I have no doubt in this one.
Let's see if he can get it here. Wow, very easy bench press for Justin. Let's see what the judges have to say. Little technical error here again. 3 white lights for Justin. Successful 225-kilo bench press.
Yeah, I thought he had plenty in him after the first one, and I almost think he can jump. He could definitely jump 5. Maybe 10 would maybe start to push him. Probably the safest bet for him would be 7.5, but we'll see what he puts in. He could do 10.
Looks like he's going to go 5. 230 right now, but he does have the opportunity to change that.
Yeah.
Since this is a bench-only meet.
I think 5's a safe call. 7 would be a little more aggressive. 10 would be going for the home run. So 5, I think he's definitely
has that in the bag.
Definitely has that in the bag, long as he does what he did in the last 2 attempts.
Next up here to finish out the second round of bench press attempts is Caden Hush with 235 kilos, 518 pounds on the bar for him.
Second bench press of the day.
Yes, heaviest bench press we've seen this weekend, I believe.
Caden Hush.
In the Raw Open 120 weight class.
Ooh,
and wow, that moved fast for Caden.
That was not...
And that's going to be 3 white lights. He's definitely going to need to put some more weight on that bar. And that was already a 15-kilo jump from his opener.
A little bit of sandbag in there.
Let's see what he turns in here for his third. I was like, alrighty, back to the top of the flight for third attempts. Here we got Richard taking on 97.5 kilos again. He needs this to stay in the meet, receive a total.
I just want to thank everyone on our platform.
Also, for those of you wondering, Caden Hush turned in 245 kilos for his third attempt, so we can look forward to that here at the end of the flight to finish off the day of bench presses.
So what is that? How many kilos was that jump?
That's a 10-kilo jump
Another
for
10
him.
Kilos. 10 and 10.
15 and 10.
15 and 10. Okay. Not short on aggressive attempts, but he smoked that so easily. I don't.
Definitely seems to have that in the bag, but we'll find out here once we run through this flight of lifters.
These are third attempts. This is third attempts. These are the last attempts of the day for these lifters.
Time to get behind Richard here as he tries to get a successful bench press to finish off the day. See what the judges say. 3 white lights. There he goes.
He got called on technicalities on the first 2. That's why that one looked so ridiculously easy. He just had some technicalities that red lighted him on his first 2, and he kind of had to stick with it. Luckily got it on him. Got himself on the board. Todd's up with 242,
110 kilos.
lifting in the 105, 231 pound weight class.
As a Master 3, putting him between the age of 60 and 69 years of age.
Giving everything he got to lock that out.
Grinding that out. See what the judges
See
say.
if he got it locked. Good lift, 3 white lights.
Good grind there from Todd for a perfect 3 for 3 day.
I think he called a perfect number there.
Next up here is Sharir, trying to get 115. Had a couple of technicality issues here today with the commands, but see if we can get behind him here for this third one.
Again, this is not, it wasn't misses because of strength. So if he cleans it up, get enough, figures out what he did on those first 2 and don't do them again, he should be able to get this. But his lockout, even though he had technicalities, his lockout was a little bit of a grind on the last one. On his right side, it kind of slowed up, and he beat some of the commands at the same time. So hopefully he has both in this attempt. Hit that wall right at the top there. Did not have that number today, unfortunately.
Have to come back next time and get that 115. Next up here, Frank Veselicki, going to be taking on 120 kilos for his third attempt. 5 kilo jump from his second attempt of 115.
If Frank is successful, he will stay in second place. Bar is loaded for Frank Veselicki, followed by
Yeah, again, if you take an attempt number that's a grind on your attempt, you can't lower your attempt in powerlifting. So the bummer on that is if you open a little too heavy,
You're stuck there.
you're stuck there. So you gotta always try to be on the safe side for openers, especially at a national meet where you're sleeping in the hotel, your travel, everything goes into the factor of what you should pull, what you number each pull.
Here goes Frank with 120 kilos. Not quite there today, but still good effort from Frank. He'll finish off with a successful 115 kilo bench.
We're on our third attempts here. We're in the last attempts of the day. Looks to be about around 10 lifters left here. And we're going to end with 545, you said, right?
245 kilos.
Okay, so,
Whatever that is in pounds.
yeah.
if he is successful, he will stay in first place. Bar is loaded for
That'll be 540 pounds. 540
Close,
pounds.
close.
James Keller, you are on deck behind Kenneth.
Here we go with Kenneth Bennett's third attempt at 130. If he gets this, he will have a perfect 3 for 3 day on the bench. 286.6 pounds on the bar for the Masters 3 raw lifter.
Doesn't take a lift off. He has his own, takes the bar out by himself.
And it looks like he doesn't need that lift off, Steve.
Nope.
Pretty easy bench press there with 3 white lights.
For his last lift of the day.
Right behind him is James Kellerman taking the bar all the way up to 170 kilos. James Kellerman in the sub-junior class, meaning that he is between the age of 14 and 19.
Bar is loaded for James Kellerman for the men's row sub-junior bench at 105 kilos. If this lift is successful, he will stay in first place. James Ray, you are on
Interesting 10 kilo jump for James from his first to his second attempt, but 2.5 kilos here for his only 2.5 kilos jump here from his second to his third. Possibly a PR of some sort for him.
Look good.
Moved relatively easy.
3 white lights. There you go.
for James Kellerman making
It's a way to finish the day.
3 for 3 day for the sub-junior lifter.
James Ray, you are up as our lifter, benching 170.
I'm being told by Secretary General of Powerlifting America, Miriam Elm, that sub-junior is 14 to 18. I believe I've been saying 14 to 19, so I'm wrong there. Thank you, Miriam Elm, Madam Secretary. Yeah. Next up here we have James Ray. Taking 172.5 for his third attempt. Missed it on his second. Let's see if he can get it here. Not there for James, but he will finish off the day with a successful 160 kilo bench. Next up, KJ Cameron, 177.5 kilos. KJ is a Masters 1 lifter in the 120 kilo weight class.
For men's raw master 1 bench at 120 kilos. Bars loaded for KJ Cameron. Let's go, Coach. Chris Walter, you were on deck. Let's go, KJ. Go. Get right. Come on.
Here goes KJ getting all set up for his third attempt. If he gets this, he will be 3 for 3 on the day. Not quite there for KJ, but he'll still finish with a successful 175 kilo bench press from his second attempt. Moving right along to our last 4 lifters of the day with Chris Walter taking a 7.5 kilo jump up to 182.5 kilos.
Benching 182.5 kilos. Let's pull 112 pounds. Bars loaded.
Chris getting set up for his third attempt on the bench. There's the start. Easy looking bench, and let's see what the judges have to say. Little technical error here with the lights. I'll give it a second.
I think he's got. Give me lights. Give me lights. Give me lights. Give me lights. Three white lights. The anticipation is there. Sometimes as a referee, I have to admit at the local meet, I've been guilty of like holding it when the crowd's waiting. Is that bad? Like I know it's going to be a good lift, right?
I mean, I don't think there's a rule against it, but
right?
hey, you
just build the intensity in the room. Like I've done that.
The silence that falls over the crowd while they wait for the lights.
Mom and grandma are about to choke, and you're just like holding onto that switch, and you just go boom, and everybody goes ah. And I knew the result.
That's
like,
the best to do with the old school lights with the flip switches.
Yeah.
For the chief referee.
Yeah.
Here's Steve Davenport, third attempt. He's gonna attempt 185 kilos again, unsuccessful on his second. Moved pretty well here on his third. Let's see what the judges have to say. 3 white lights. So I believe he missed his second for a technical issue, but he got it there on his third. So Pastor Davenport there will finish off the day with 185 kilos. Here's our last 2 lifters of the day. Justin Rogers first with 230 kilos, just over 500 pounds at 507 pounds. Justin is in the raw open division, lifting in the 105 kilo weight class.
Bars loaded. So here we go. Last 2 benches of the day. Justin Rogers going 230, 507 for Justin. Is he coming out? There he is. Justin Rogers. He's got 35 seconds. He's had quite a day. I don't think he's struggled at all. I think this is a nice,
pretty conservative third attempt jump here.
Yeah, I think this is a solid attempt. I think he's got it just as long as he's as clean as he was the last 2.
Easy bench press there. And 3 white lights.
I'm pretty sure 7.5 was a definite. 10 might have been a little bit of a stretch.
Probably could have had it in the bag though.
He probably could have.
Considering how fast that moved.
Yeah. I think that was a very conservative third attempt there. Very conservative. But
And-
he was in control of the weight class.
Oh, we have an attempt change in progress. Caden Hush was supposed to take 245 kilos for a ride, but now he will be taking on 247.5 kilos, 545 pounds.
He's making me look smart because I mistakenly said he was going to go 545, and now he makes me look like a genius.
He took your mistake as a challenge
yeah,
there, Steve.
he must be listening. I'm sure he's listening. Yeah, so he's jumping up to 545. He's been smoking it. Now this is
12 and a half kilo
This
jump.
is an aggressive attempt, but he jumped 15 on his second.
See if
So
he's
here we
got
go.
it here. This will be our final bench press of the day. I've also been told with
If he makes that,
success
he
of
gets
this
the best
lift, he will be the best lifter, and
There
it
he
looks like
goes.
he will be
So that's
the
why
best lifter of the day here.
That's why he took that attempt. 540 would have. He already won the division. He needed an extra 5 pounds to get the best lifter, and that's what he did.
It was him and Justin Rogers duking it out, and once he saw that Justin was successful, he knew that he had to go up an extra 2.5 kilos.
And the great thing with the lifting cash, you could look at the points, look at the formulas, and he had the last attempt in the meet, so that gave him that ability to jump like that.
And that concludes bench press here for the day. Stay tuned as we will have awards for both the morning session and the afternoon session coming up here in a bit.
bench only at 69 kilos. In first place, we have Megan Richard. In women's Raw Master 1, bench only in 63 kilos. In first place, we have Faith Claw. In women's Raw Master 1, bench only 84 kilos. For first place, we have Rachel Deal. For women's Raw Master 1, bench only 84 kilos plus, we have in first place Sarah Wages. For women's Raw Master 2, bench only at 76 kilos. In first place, we have Cynthia Line. And we will get that medal to her. Nice lifting. In women's Raw Master 2, bench only at 84 kilos. In first place, Michael Harris. In women's Raw Master 3, bench only at 57 kilos. First place, we have Dora Justice. In women's Raw Master 3, bench only, 69 kilos. In first place, we have Susan Gibson. In women's Raw Open Bench, only 57 kilos. In first place, we have Heather Haywood. In women's Raw Open Bench, only 69 kilos. We have in first place, Chelsea Savitt.
For Cynthia Line,
Just first.
Just keep going.
In women's Raw Open Bench, only at 84 plus kilos. In first place, we have Sarah Shelton.
Women's Raw Master 2, 76 kilo. Can you redo that because she's here now?
So, I keep losing my place, so let's just do her now. And we are going to re-announce Women's Raw Master 2, bench only, 76 kilos. In first place, we have Cynthia Line present. Where is Cynthia? For women's raw sub-junior bench only at 76 kilos, in first place we have Amelia Gherkin. For our men's raw junior bench only of 66 kilos, in first place, Jack Sullivan.
So once you run through the rest of like the first session, we're gonna do both the women's best lifters before doing session 2, since they're all already up here.
Okay. For men's raw junior bench only at 74 kilos, in first place, we have Brady Graceffa. In men's raw master 2 bench only at 66 kilos, in first place we have Steve Petronjak. Petronjak? In men's raw master 2 bench only 74 kilos, in first place we have Todd Solomon. For men's raw master 3 bench only at 66 kilos, in first place Stephen Edwards. For men's raw master 2 bench only 74 kilos, in second place we have Michael Rodriguez. And to join him in first place we have Daniel Sides. Give it up for our gentleman in men's raw master 3 bench only, 74 kilos. For men's raw master 4 bench only, 59 kilos, in first place, Mel Tatsumi. For men's raw master 4 bench only 74 kilos, in first place, Gary Reel. For men's raw open bench only, 74 kilos, in second place, we have Oliver Saw.
And in first place, Seth Howard. Before we move on to this afternoon's session, we're going to go ahead and announce the Women's Master Best Lifter and Women's Best Lifter. For Women's Master Best Lifter today, this morning, we have the Women's Master Best Lifter. Drum roll. Dora Justice. Additionally, in Women's Best Lifter, we have, drum roll. Open. Oh, open. In Women's Best Open Lifter. Drum roll. Chelsea Savitt. And we will keep all of these awards for our athletes. Let's give our athletes up here one last big round of applause. And that concludes awards for this morning's session. Very nicely done today to all of our athletes. And now that we have worked out all the kinks and we know how this goes, we're going to announce and ask for our afternoon lifters in the second session to please come to the platform. Second session lifters to the platform. And as we get lined up, another thank you to Robert Keller, President of Powerlifting America, and Vice President Bill Helmick, Vice President of Powerlifting America. And thank you to Roxy from American Iron for your assistance in awards. For men's raw junior bench only, 93 kilos. In second place, we have Colton Patrick. In first place, to join Colton, we have John Tyler. Give it up for our men's raw junior bench only, 93 kilos. For men's raw master 1, bench only at 83 kilos. In second place, Shane Haywood. To join him in first place, Jonathan Lassa. Nice job, gentlemen. For men's Raw Master 1, bench only 120 kilos, in first place, KJ Cameron. For men's Raw Master 2, bench only, 83 kilos. In second place, Jason Ross. To join him in first place, Joseph McAuliffe. Give it up for our men's Raw Master 2, 83 kilos. For men's Raw Master 2, bench only, 93 kilos. In second place, Troy Casa. And in first place, we have Edward Ruland. Beautiful job. For men's Raw Master 2, bench only at 105 kilos. In second place, Richard Schulz. And in first place to join him, we have Chris Walter. Great job today, guys. In men's Raw Master 2, bench only 120 plus kilos. In first place, Steve Davenport. For men's Raw Master 3, bench only at 83 kilos. In first place, Carlos Lewis. Can we turn down the volume a little bit? Just a little bit? I'm losing my place. Okay, for men's Raw Master 3, bench only at 93 kilos. In second place, Dana Rosenzweig. In first place to join him, Thomas Sensich. Great job, guys. For men's Raw Master 3, bench only at 105 kilos. In third place, Todd Peterson. In second place to join Todd, we have Frank Veselicki. And in first place to join them in Men's Raw Master 3, 105 kilos, Kenneth Bennett. Men's Raw Master 3, 105 kilos. Great job today, gentlemen. For Men's Raw Master 3, bench only, 120 kilos. In first place, James Ray. Great job. Men's Raw Master 4, bench only at 93 kilos. In first place, Edward Regua. Beautiful job. For Men's Raw Open bench only, 83 kilos. In second place, Jared Pollock. And in first place, we have Mikhailo Zabrodin. Great job to our Men's Raw Open bench only, 83 kilos. For Men's Raw Open bench only, 93 kilos. In third place, Alexander Zabrodin. To join him in second place, Ryan Baylark. And in first place, Jordan Harris. Great job, gentlemen. For Men's Raw Open bench only, 105 kilos. In first place, Justin Rogers. Beautiful job. For Men's Raw Open bench only, 120 kilos. In first place, Caden Hush. Amazing job. All right, for Men's Raw Sub-Junior bench only at 105 kilos. In first place, James Kellerman. Amazing job. And last but not least, for our men's master best lifter and men's open best lifter. For men's master best lifter, Joseph McAuliffe. Amazing job. Woo! In addition, for men's best open lifter, who benched more than 500 pounds today? Caden Hush. Amazing job. And that concludes our awards for the second session of the day. Another round of applause for all of our athletes up here. An amazing job today. Congratulations to all of our athletes today. And this concludes 2023's Powerlifting America National Bench Press Championships.